What's up, guys? Michael for Team Jerry Beans. Got a Lightsworn Ruler profile for you guys. Mine's a little bit different than some of the variants you might see running around. Some of them are running Needlebug Nest, everything like that. I mean, the variant's good, but the only problem is you really have to hope for basically getting Needlebug Nest and other setup cards, as well as basically getting good protection with the card on its own. So sometimes it's a little bit situational. Sometimes you screw up and lose some of your valuable cards on the Needlebug Nest, so it's not really that good. But let's go ahead and get straight into the profile. 3 Judgment Dragons, staple, so aka Lightsworn's nuke. So, anybody that doesn't know what JD does, you need 4 Lightsworns engraved with different names to activate its effect, and then you pay 1,000 life points and nuke everything, and at the end phase you mill 4 cards. So, really good card, and it's really actually easy to get everything in the graveyard with this build. So, 3 JDs. Next we have 2 Luminas. I was running a Lumina at 3, but considering the build that I'm actually playing, 2 is fine, because you can usually get the other one back. Her ability is pitch a card from your hand, any card, and you can summon back a Lightsworn that's in your grave. A lot of the times you'll go for like Lumina, Wolf, or anything like that that's already in the graveyard, or if you're setting up for a rank 3 play, you'll go over through the other Lumina. I might actually try to get her back to 2, but it's really situational, and her end phase effect is milling 3 cards, so that helps with what you're going for. 2 Lilas, again, 3 is a little bit too cloggy, and 2 is perfectly fine. Considering that Hat is running around everywhere, you don't want too many cards that are, going to end up nuking the back row, because you don't want to play Russian roulette with that.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times this is actually good for defense, because if they have a back row card and they're not playing Hat, you'll summon it out, target one of their cards, and regardless of if they activate it or you pop it, then it'll usually go to defense. So it's usually helpful there. And it's a +3 to the graveyard whenever you hit the end phase, so helpful there. Next we have the 1-ups, which is Wolf. Wolf, when he's milled, he goes to the he gets summoned to the field, so he's good there. Then we have Garroth. When Garroth is on the board and a Lightsworn monster mills, he mills 2 cards, and if you hit any Lightsworns, he gets an extra draw for you. So, really good. It helps out with the draw engine, especially if you're running low on cards. Then we have Jane. He gets 300 points if he attacks something, and he mills 2 at the end phase. Aaron, it's for people that like to set hands, and you can actually just run over the hand, bounce it back to the deck. End phase, you get a +3. Well, +3 to the grave because she mills 3. This is also really good because a lot of people are scared of actually putting a lot of their big cards in attack position, because everybody fears 1-0 right now. Right. So a lot of the times that they summon out Draco Sack, you'll usually pop it with Draco Sack. Well, they'll summon out Draco Sack, then you'll ram into it, and it's gone. So you don't really have anything to worry about there. Raiko, 1-of. The reason why he's a 1-of because he's way too situational, especially with cards that can just pop things face down without even having to worry about it. So really don't want to have to run into that. Plus it's a nice if they actually run into it, but it's just another name in the grave for JD. Yeah. Now to the non-Lightsworn cards. We have 3 Eclipse Wyverns. The reason why we're running the Eclipse Wyverns is because this is Lightsworn Ruler, and when you actually mill these guys, it gets you to send these 3 to the Banish Zone. And then at any time if you get a Ruler, you can banish them and go straight into JD, which is really, really nice. Nobody likes running into JD like that.
No.
Nobody likes running into it.
Yeah.
Because if you end up opening with like the God Hand, which basically recharges, Charge of the Light Brigade, and you end up milling these guys and drawing into a Ruler off your recharge, you pretty much win turn 2 unless they have something to stop it. So Eclipse Wyverns are staple for this because it helps you get to JD faster. Next, the another set of non-Lightsworn cards. 2 Light Ray Diablos. Diablos is really good because you're going to have a lot of lights in the graveyard, period. So when you have 5 or more, you can actually special summon this out. And this can usually bait a lot of stuff that Hat's going to use against you. So you can usually hit a face down card, and when you reveal the face down card, if it's something that you don't like, you get to either put it back on the top or the bottom of your deck. So if it's usually a really dead card, you can put it back to the top, it's fine.
Well, they're gonna be like bitching at you until you get it. Just tell them what you want.
Alright, next card.
Michael, we're ruining the video already.
3 of the rulers. Reason why we're running Tempest is because this has synergy with the other dragons of the deck. It also has synergy with Livier and Dracosac if they happen to go to the graveyard.
Right.
So that's why this is actually run over title. A lot of people were asking me why I ran this over title, because it gets synergy better than the other ones.
Right.
Main reason why I run Boulder is because of the side deck. Because you'll usually side in 3 Max C, a Fossil Dynast, and stuff like that, and it gives him more food. And Blaster, just because it's Blaster, he's a big ass. So everybody should know what the Dragon Rulers do.
At this point.
2 Kree Bandits. Again, we are actually aiming for hitting shit to the graveyard as quickly as possible. So Kree Bandit's essential for that, because usually you end up with like a lot of defensive traps and everything like that in the back row. And if you usually mill off Wolf or anything like that, then it helps out. When we actually get Minerva and other stuff like that, if we happen to get Fleece and Duelist Alliance, I'll actually throw those in, because a lot of the times if you hit a Wolf and a Fleece off this, it's really good because you get field presence, so you're not going to die that turn. And plus, this actually hits a lot of your good spell and trap cards. Like if you're playing against Hat, you usually want to try and get Royal Degrees or anything like that real quick, so Kree Bandit helps get you there. And the last 2 monsters in the build, these are actually going to be iffy after the structure deck comes out, and that's the Necrogardenus. Because, like I said, a lot of the times when you have Raiden and Minerva, and as well as Fleece, you don't really need the Gardeners because you usually get a good bit of field on the board already. So you kind of don't really need protection from the grave, but this really does help out. So we have total, let's see here. Count that up for me, sir. We have quite a few monsters.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and move over to spells. Staple card is 3 Solar Recharge. This pitches your dead Lightsworns in hand if you've already normal summoned. It's 23 monsters. So recharge is usually meant to basically get your Lightsworns to grave to help you out a lot more to getting to the JD play. A lot of the times you'll end up with like a dead wolf or something like that in hand, and this helps you get it to the graveyard and get some free mills. So it's not really a minus because you get the 2 draws off of it. So you're really just trying to fuel the graveyard, especially with the mill 2 effect. So that helps you out there. Next we have the 1 of Charge of the Light Brigade. We also have a 1 of Sacred Sword of 7 Stars because we run 5 targets for it. And we also run Allure of Darkness. A lot of people wonder why I run Allure, especially since I'm only running the 2 Necrogardeners and the 2 Kree Bandits. The reason why you run the Allure is because if you end up with like a handful of Lightsworns and you end up with the Eclipse Wyverns in hand, you want to try to get those out of the hand as quickly as possible. So you can hit them with that, and if you have enough Lightsworns in grave already, you pretty much set up for JD. And if you happen to hit a ruler off the draw, then that helps you out tremendously because you can just go off that turn. Sacred Sword is obvious. You know, you kind of want to hit one of the Light Rays. Like I said, a lot of the times you'll try to hit a Light Ray Diablos, and charge is obvious. So, next setup, Foolish Burial. Again, this helps you pitch an Eclipse Wyvern, it helps you pitch one of the Dragon Rulers, it can help you pitch a Lightsworn, anything you need in the graveyard to go off. And again, a lot of the times if you open this with the Kree Bandit, you can usually hit this, hit Wolf, you get an extra monster on board to go with it, so it usually helps you out in certain situations there. Another card that a lot of people actually questioned me on was 3 Hand Destructions. A lot of the times in the format, you'll see people not keeping too many cards in their hand, so sometimes it's kind of dead. But a lot of the times, any card that they do keep in their hand, it's something that they really want to hang on to for a later time. So you can usually power through your hand and through your deck to try and get to your JD real quick. So Hand Destruction usually helps you out there. Originally, I was actually running the Blue Eyes variant with this, and if you pitched a Whitestone, you pretty much didn't minus off the Hand Destruction, it usually helped out. But the Blue Eyes engine was a little bit too clodgy, so I swapped that out. So, Hand Destruction is really good. It's situational sometimes, but it usually helps out, because it usually gets you to the play you're wanting to make quicker. And staple 2 Soul Charge, because you're milling a lot, you're going to want to try and get monsters on the board and try to create field presence. So usually you open this, if you usually open this with Career Bandit and a lot of your mill spells, you're in actually a really good position because you can usually set up a field turn 1 and have everything ready for JD by the time turn 2 rolls around to you. So it usually helps out there. So total we have 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 spells and 24 monsters. Well, 23 monsters. And last but not least, we have the trap cards. 2 Phoenix Wing Windblast. This is basically one of your main defensive traps. And a lot of the times you want to pitch a card out of hand anyway, so it's not really a bad card to actually run. And a lot of the times, if you have an Eclipse Wyvern, this is something you definitely want to have in your opening hand, because you pitch the Eclipse Wyvern and you don't really minus off of it because you actually get the banish that you're wanting. So, two of these. And last 2 traps are Royal Grease. Need I say more? If you hit this with Career Bandit and you're playing against like Hat, Chain Burn, shit like that, you get that next turn, set it, they go their turn, let them start their big chain and all that crap, and then boom, no, you get nothing.
Those decrees are cursed.
Yes, they are. Because a lot of the times these decrees are really cursed because they usually get NST'd right away, or I open both of them and then I end up dying because I can't draw anything else other than decrees. So it's only 4 traps. So main deck is 40 cards. Like I said, you guys can test this out. It runs really well. Onto the XZs. Levier, again, synergy with Tempest. Plus, if you're banishing the Wyverns and stuff like that, it usually helps out. Zemains, because of the Luminas. Like I said, I'm going to try and bump Lumina back up to 3. See if I can find something to drop out for that. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. Again, Zen Mains is just a body, and it helps rid some of the pesky things in the format. Mech Equip Agnir. This really helps because if you can actually get this on the field before you summon JD, you can summon JD if they try to bottomless it. You can actually protect it with Agnir, so it's really good there. Rank 4s are Honor Arc. And again, this actually helps out with the other one because Aaron actually combos really well with this because everybody hates running into Honor Arc. So Aaron gets surplus off that. Lavable Chain because extra graveyard food. So you'll usually make this with 2 Lightsworns. So you can pitch 1 Lightsworn to the grave and then pitch another one, or pitch an Eclipse Wyvern, or just pitch a Dragon Ruler, whatever you need in the graveyard at the time. So basically it's just a living Foolish Burial. It really helps. Next is Fujita Tsukuyomi. This follows the same ruling as the Allure of Darkness. A lot of the times you'll end up with stuff in the hand that you want gone. So you can usually send out your whole hand and then draw 2. So it usually helps you into your other place. Heartland Draco for obvious reasons because I get to attack you directly, and when we get the new continuous spell card, it's going to really work out. Because the continuous spell card for Lightsworn Sanctuary, I can have that on board, and you can't attack this, and then I can attack you twice directly because you can't kill it. And Lightsworn Sanctuary is going to really help this now. Dragon Shin, because we run the Dragon Rulers, and we also run Diablos, and it really helps, especially if you have Diablos in grave and you already summoned it right. You get to bring it out, and then pop something else. But it's only for the negation's only for that turn, so that's good.
Come get it.
Karagorn for obvious reasons because hands and shit like that. Oh yeah. Next we have Black Ship. Obvious reasons, hands, Zen mains, art, all that shit. Ragnar Zero because Fire Fists, they're dying out, but they're still a thing. So you kind of have to plan for that. And it's really helpful in the rogue matchup. It also helps out really well with Rujins.
And Modoches. You forgot about Modoches, that's the thing now.
Big Eye. Obvious reasons. I get to steal your shit. And synergy with the 7s that we run, because we run 5, so we can easily make him. Dragosac, RTFC. Everybody knows what this thing does. It's been around since Dragon Ruler format. Get used to it. He's not going anywhere. And not only that, the tokens are actually really good. It's food, so helps there.
Awesome?
Next is Felgran. Protection for your JD. You might lose your effect that turn, but at least you're not losing your JD. And it's also protection for anything else that you want to use it on. So I mean, if you can get this and plus JD, you can go nuke the board, then protect one of your monsters like Felgran, and then you're usually set up the game. Next and last is Heliopolis. This is soul charge food right here. Because if you end up with 2 JDs and they both get stopped and you can't attack with them or something like that, you can usually overlay into this, play soul charge, bring out 4 monsters, and then soul charge, nuke the board again. You pretty much get around anything that they want to do there. Granted, you won't be able to attack, but you still accomplish your objective.
Yeah.
So it's full 15 on the extra deck, and that's the profile, guys. Like I said, let me know what you guys think of the build. It runs actually really well. If there's anything you would change, let me know, and we'll try to get that fixed. But thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to Team Jerry Beans, and see ya.